Is Team Sneaky Patrick Brown up to their usual shenanigans yet again, this time when it comes to the Toronto mayoral by-election? Well, it could be, at least according to reliable sources that have tipped off Rebel News, that Brown and his cronies are heavily involved in the Toronto mayor's race. Granted, the premise does seem a tad weird. Patrick Brown is the failed progressive conservative who was so close to becoming Premier of Ontario back in 2018.
Missed it by that much.
He is also the failed contender for leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Brown was disqualified after he allegedly used money orders to purchase memberships and allowed non-compliant membership sales through a portal. Ouch. That's low. It's almost like, say, a mayor sneaking into a hockey rink to play shinny with his buddies while all the kids were prohibited from playing in the city's playgrounds.
What a loser.
So it is that Brown plugs along not as the Premier, nor the Prime Minister, nor even the Leader of the Opposition, but rather as the Mayor of Brampton.
Winning.
That's the thing about Brown. Despite all of his scheming and shenanigans, he always seems to finish second, doesn't he? And a distant second at that. Sneaky Patrick so desperately wants that swank luxury car, but alas, he always has to settle for those chintzy kitchen utensils.
Because we're adding a little something to this month's sales contest. As you all know, first prize is a Cadillac Eldorado. Anybody want to see second prize? Second prize is a set of steak knives.
So then, what's the deal when it comes to the Toronto mayoral by-election? Well, reliable sources have tipped off Rebel News that ex-Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders is Mayor Brown's candidate of choice. Saunders ran as a PC candidate in Don Valley West in last year's provincial election, and somehow he managed to lose to a Liberal candidate. How bizarre. Doug Ford's PCs scored a supermajority government last year, yet Saunders lost to a candidate with a party that doesn't even have official party status.
You blew it!
In any event, one of the known knowns is that Saunders is surely Premier Ford's choice for mayor. As for Brown's connection to Saunders, that remains a little unclear.
I've always said I'm staying out of the race, and I have the right, like anyone else, to put a sign on my lawn. I put Mark's sign on my lawn. I'm proud to have his sign on the lawn. But again, I tell everyone I'll be voting for Mark, but vote whoever you want to vote for.
Then again, like Ford, Brown used to be a progressive conservative and someone who was headed to the premier's chair until his own party thankfully rebelled against the sneaky one. So there is that connection, at least. And like Ford, Brown is very chummy these days with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Check out this photo of Mayor Brown, Prime Minister blackface, and holy cow, it's the international man of mystery himself, Babu. Babu Nagalangam is Brown's chief of staff. As you may recall, we exposed the off-the-books secret campaign headquarters of Patrick Brown last year when he was vying to become the federal conservative leader. And Babu was there almost every day. Well, to be perfectly accurate, his ivory-hued Audi SUV was there almost every day. In theory, Babu could have been playing indoor soccer at the rec facility across the parking lot. Who knows? And lo and behold, we caught Brown himself making an appearance at that secret campaign headquarters, which led to an O.J. Simpson kind of car chase as Brown hightailed it all the way back to Brampton and called the police on Lincoln J. and me for what exactly? Now, folks, we are trying to track down the secret campaign headquarters of sneaky Patrick Brown, the mayor of Brampton. And you know what? We found it in this nondescript office building, unit number 20 on City View Boulevard. There is Patrick Brown's campaign office in full flight. And I guess there's really nothing wrong with that. Although it's kind of funny that he's based in Brampton, but he's running his boiler room out of Vaughan. But here's the thing, folks. There are several senior City of Brampton officials that are working on this campaign. And we know this for sure. Just in front of me, about 55 meters ahead of me, is the white Audi SUV that belongs to Babu Nagulingam. He is the chief of staff for the mayor. I have been coming here for the last several weeks, and I've been documenting the fact that that SUV that is owned by Babu is parked here. Patrick Brown drove straight to the Brampton Police Headquarters.
Okay, go, get out.
Okay, then. Okay, you get out right now.
Go, please.
Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown, why are senior City of Brampton staff working out of your secret campaign headquarters in Vaughan? Mr. Brown,
Mr. Brown, any comment?
Is that on the taxpayer dollar? Have they taken a leave of absence? Mr. Brown, why are City of Brampton employees working at your campaign headquarters in Vaughan? Is this on the taxpayer dollar? Mr. Brown?
Close.
Oh, okay then. All right then. Okay.
You jump out of your car so fast. We're trying to conduct a traffic stop on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, why is that, sir?
Let's go back outside.
Okay, sure. Why would you want to conduct a traffic
You
stop on
came
this?
in going a little faster in our parking lot, so we want to see what's going on.
In any event, again, we're not totally certain why Brown is allegedly so gung-ho to see Saunders become the next mayor of Hogtown, but I'm pretty sure he has his reasons. But here's what's happening behind the scenes, according to our sources. Babu has strong connections with Toronto's Tamil community, and we've been told that there might be a boiler room operation set up somewhere in Scarborough, much like that secret Vaughan CPC headquarters. As the story goes, members of the Tamil community, some of whom don't even speak English, are allegedly being recruited by Babu's team to vote for Saunders. As the allegations go, mail-in ballots are filled out for these folks. All that's required to seal the deal is a signature, and then it's off to the mailbox. No muss, no fuss. Now, according to the City of Toronto, the deadline for mail-in voting applications was May 26 at 4:30 p.m. On deadline day, approximately 38,000 people had applied and received a package to vote by mail. Now, 38,000 votes may not sound like a huge number when there are 1.89 million eligible voters in Toronto, but consider this. In last fall's municipal election, the voter turnout was a dismal 29%, which means that if indeed the lion's share of those 38,000 mail-in ballots are going to be cast for one of the front-running candidates, that could be huge. Indeed, this could be key when it comes to Saunders' path to victory. Many are speaking of leftist candidate Olivia Chow as being the prohibitive favorite, if you believe the polls, that is. But what if we woke up on June 27 and found out that out of nowhere, Saunders was elected mayor? And what if a disproportionate number of ballots for Saunders, especially from Scarborough, turned out to be of the mail-in variety? Would that strike you as being a little, fishy? By the way, earlier this month, we caught up with Saunders at a mayoral debate. We scrummed him afterwards about the allegations. Check out our back and forth. Mr. Saunders, another one of the candidates has stated that there are 300,000 new voters in this by-election compared to fall's municipal election. And that's what's been registered with the City of Toronto, allegedly. And apparently a lot of them are using mail-in ballots. My question to you is, did your campaign import Babu Nagalagam's team from Brampton under contract to work on your campaign? or are they just volunteers at this time?
The short answer is no. I haven't hired anybody with respect to that campaign that you're talking about.
Can you explain why you are Mayor Patrick Brown's choice for Mayor of Toronto?
Well, maybe he has good taste. I'm not sure. But you know what? This is about an election for the City of Toronto, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity of being chosen on June 26th and making sure I represent every voice across the city.
In addition to Babu, sir, has he and any of the other staffers at Brampton, have they taken unpaid time off to work on your campaign?
And I don't know who all of my volunteers are or what they're doing. I'm just glad that I have people that are willing to volunteer on my campaign to help me move forward so that the successful outcomes occur on June 26th.
I understand Babu is focusing his attention on the Tamil community. Is that correct?
Okay. Thank you very much.
Check your sources.
What did you think of those answers, folks? To me, it seemed a little less ex-chief of police and a whole lot more Sergeant Schultz.
I know nothing. Nothing.
You know, it's all so odd to me. Saunders, the ex-police chief, is self-proclaimed as the law and order candidate, and yet go back to 2020, and there was Saunders himself not only ignoring the lawlessness of Black Lives Matter mass gatherings during COVID-19 lockdowns, but like the protesters, Chief Saunders also took a knee and gave the Black Power raised fist salute. This was so bizarre because Saunders, as police chief, was essentially taking a knee in that protest against himself. As for the alleged health risks, well, evidently the coronavirus would never be so insensitive to infect BLM demonstrators. Rather, this super intelligent social justice virus hated anti-lockdown protesters, which is why the cops sometimes brutally shut down those demonstrations. Follow the science. Naturally, I did reach out to Babu and Brown, which kind of sounds like an old vaudeville act. My questions to Babu, which I forwarded along to Brown, included the following. One of the other mayoral candidates has stated that almost 300,000 new voters, compared to last fall's election, have been registered with the City of Toronto, and apparently many will be using mail-in ballots. My question, did Saunders' campaign import you under contract to work on his campaign, or are you and others at the City of Brampton just volunteers at this time? As well, I have been told that you are focusing your efforts on the Tamil community to vote for Mr. Saunders. Is this the case? If so, what reason are they being told to vote for Saunders? How many other staffers at the City of Brampton are working on the Saunders campaign? And have any of these city staffers taken a leave of absence? And why is Mr. Saunders apparently Mayor Patrick Brown's preferred candidate for Mayor of Toronto? And I can tell you, folks, at time of recording, neither Brown nor Babu have responded. By the way, I was also tipped off that 2 Ontario MPPs are also allegedly involved in getting the Toronto Tamil community to come out and vote for Mark Saunders. We reached out to both of those gentlemen as well, but have yet to receive a response. Bottom line, I must stress that this sort of ballot harvesting does not appear to be illegal. It doesn't seem like any rules are being broken here. But if the allegations are true, it's a question of ethics, is it not? You know, this whole idea of recruiting an ethnic bloc and suggesting they vote for a particular candidate, it's a little unbecoming, wouldn't you say? And it whispers of electoral interference, even if it is legal electoral interference. At the end of the day, this is not the sort of behavior one would expect from a former chief of police. Don't we want a mayor who is moral? After all, that's the very reason we're going through this by-election in the first place. Well, folks, I know you love us to bring you the other side of the story here at Rebel News, but we count on you. We don't receive any federal funding, nor would we take it if offered. So if you can, please go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com, And if you can make any donation, no matter how small, that would be greatly appreciated.